Hey everyone, AdamTheTutor here, coming at you with a Laplace Transform video. I thought this would be kind of useful in two ways. One, it gives you practice with integration, sometimes integration by parts and stuff like that. And the other one is, well, because Laplace transforms are very useful. It's a very useful tool in solving differential equations. So I figure, hey, let's knock two birds out with one stone here. So let's go ahead and get started. Now the very first one that we're going to do is f of t equal to 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the Laplace transform of 1, right? Now here you'll notice that our function of t goes just before this exponential, the exponential of negative s times t, and we have the requirement that s is greater than 0. So now basically we just we basically evaluate this, right? So we'll have the integral from 0 to negative infinity, well, kind of a lopsided infinity there, and then we'll have 1 times e to the minus s times t integral dt. So we all know how to do an integral like this, right? This is just a regular exponential. So we'll get negative 1 over s e to the negative s times t, and then that will be t equals 0 to t goes to infinity. So our first one will have a negative 1 minus s will come out, and we'll have e to the negative s times 0, which will just be 1. So 1. And then we'll have minus, or I'm sorry, I did that backwards. The very first thing that we need to do is evaluate this guy, right? So in the limit as t approaches infinity here, this exponential is going to get very large, right? And s doesn't really matter. It's finite, it's positive. But what matters is that this t is going to become infinity. So this whole argument here of the exponential is going to go to negative infinity. And e to something that's very large and negative is basically 0. So we're going to have a 0 here, right? And then we're going to subtract that evaluated at t equals 0. Well, e to the 0 is just 1, right? So we have a negative 1 and a negative 1 here. So this is just going to be 1 over s, right? And we don't have to worry about s is equal to 0 because remember, s should be greater than 0. Got turned around here. S is greater than 0, right? So we have our first entry in our entry of Laplace transforms, that the Laplace transform of 1 is equal to 1 over s. And that was a pretty easy one to show. So that's going to do it for this video. Kind of a quick little integration, but it's just basically an integration of an exponential, so it's not too bad, right? So that's going to do it for this one. And if you have any questions, of course, leave them down in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.